Welcome to the 12th Annual Cancer Research Classic, presented by Wheeling Hospital and the Health Plan. 2 outstanding days of basketball, and we're down to the penultimate game of the Cancer Research Classic of 2019. Number 3 rated Dematha against Norcross.
Well, we've got a good one coming up, hopefully here. Norcross a little nicked up with the flu, but I'm sure they'll give a good effort.
So far, by the way, the first 10 games, we've had 2 teams that have won each day, Sunrise Christian and La Lumiere. The story, I guess, Warren Lenhart is our producer, Warren Baker alongside, not only a guy that is a former West Virginia University star, but also a gentleman. He and his wife Ann throw one heck of a Christmas party too, by the way. For Norcross, we're hearing that the flu has run through the team.
Yeah, decimated. And this time of year, you know, if these guys are passing the water bottle around, those type of things, it doesn't take long for it to hit a team.
All right, we're just minutes away from the start of the ball game. Thank you very much for joining us.
Dematha starting in the man-to-man.
The Stags from Hyattsville, Maryland. The Blue Devils from Norcross, Georgia, northeast of Atlanta. Ball swiped away. Good defense by Timberlake.
Lanny, I think it's going to be very, very important for Norcross to try to control the tempo of the ball game.
Sturdivant at right at the moment that needed to get that shot off as the shot clock was expiring.
Yeah, I didn't think he necessarily saw that. I heard at the bench yelled and he let it go and knocked it down. Norcross starting in man-to-man as well.
Dickinson with the left hand.
Boy, big fella with a soft touch inside.
7'1" junior. ESPN class of 2020, number 20. And our first foul of the game against Jameer Young. Sturdivant, who's planning on playing college basketball at Southern Cal. And a 4-0 Norcross lead. 4-2 lead.
Sturdivant can do it inside, do it outside, has good body control.
And the Stags, red and blue. Dickinson, that left-handed shot, fadeaway jumper, no good. Ball goes out of bounds, and it is Norcross ball.
And if you're Norcross, you don't mind seeing Dickinson shoot a fall away. That means he can't be going to the board.
And Murphy fires one out of bounds. Opening minute and a half of the 11th game of the 12th annual Cancer Research Classic.
Yeah, a little miscommunication results in that turnover.
And the pass from Kogelnick out of bounds.
Kogelnick had a bad angle to try to get that ball in low. You've got to get a tough angle. When you try to pass that thing straight in like that, it has to be a perfect pass, or it's going to sail out of bounds as that did.
Isa Muhammad. Brandon Boston. Knocked away into the hands of Timberlake. Missed. Tip attempt no good by Moore.
Norcross really needs to protect the basketball.
And our second foul of the game. Foul on Mohammed. And what's the first Norcross foul? 4-2. Norcross leads. Lost to Montverde yesterday. Not all teams play 2 days in this tournament. Well done by Justin Moore, who's going to Villanova.
Yeah, Moore able to get that baseline. Norcross has got to take that baseline away.
Awkward shot taken by Boston.
Yeah, that's too easy. You can't need to slide all the way down. If necessary, put your foot across the out of bounds line. You don't want to give a good player like that much room on that baseline.
Brandon Boston has an offer from Duke. Makes the free throw.
Well, so far, Norcross really not allowing Dematha to get out and really run like they would like to. So, again, I think the pace of this ball game has to favor Norcross.
18-footer, no good by Young. Left side, Murphy.
Quick shot by Murphy, did not get it to go.
Dickinson missing the shot. Martin shot short. Martin got it back.
We got that second chance and made Dematha pay.
Norcross by 5. Approaching the halfway point of the first quarter.
And Norcross has done a good job in the half-court defense. Only giving up one shot for the most part. Oh, boy. Tell you what, let a loose ball get by just now.
And over the back, I think this foul is going to be on Kogelnick.
Yeah,
by Martin.
Uncontested. Good players are going to knock those shots down.
Foul is on Kogelnick. It's the third team foul against Dematha.
Dematha trying to get its legs here early on.
Dickinson from 20 feet.
I think Norcross will be happy for him to shoot those all afternoon.
Dickinson's about 1 of 4, 1 of 5 from the field unofficially. Here, pass out of bounds, and we have a timeout. 3:36 remaining in the first quarter. Norcross 9, Dematha 4. The Cancer Research Classic is presented by Wheeling Hospital, a tradition of excellence, a legacy of caring. And by the health plan. The benefits stack up with the health plan. Hey, Warren Baker, pardon my ignorance, but what does it mean when you say a team needs to get its legs?
Well, you know, they've been laying around the hotel all day today. Get up. They probably had a walkthrough earlier, but to get into the flow of the game, get into the rhythm of the ball game here. And right now, they are not. You know, they've had some long-range bombs. You know, you saw Dickinson take a shot. He's made one shot, but other than that, really nothing. And Norcross is doing a good job of getting back on defense. Getting the legs and get some rhythm. Quite frankly, Dematha might be lucky because Norcross has had 3 unforced turnovers that they didn't even get an opportunity to get the ball in.
Dickinson shot in and out.
And again, until he starts hitting them, I would let him shoot them all night.
Shot no good by Muhammad. Young. Timberlake. Dickinson. Got to be one for 6, 1 for 7.
Yeah, he hit his little baby hook to begin the ball game, but other than that, he's been quiet. You know, credit Norcross too. They are doing a great job of getting back on defense.
Oh, what a shot by Sturdivant.
Sturdivant, he's feeling it.
And An 8-point Norcross lead. Double dribble.
And Sturtevant has that rhythm. Yeah, he knew what he wanted to do. Stepped in, then stepped back, went up, and didn't hesitate. And that's a kid that's playing with a lot of confidence.
Warren, I know that you don't follow Norcross all that much. You've seen him maybe you saw him a little bit yesterday and today. But if the flu is going through the team, would their coach McMillan will try to get more players into the game?
Yeah, I guess a lot of it would depend on, you know, the severity of the bug that they might have. But right now, they are really, I think the big key here is that they are getting back on defense and not letting Dematha get out and run the ball at all.
Jesse McMillan, 18th year with the program, 11th year as head coach. Fouls on Jaden Harris, his second team foul of the first half. Moore in the paint. Off the glass.
Dematha will get jump started here shortly. They, again, they're too good of a ball club to stay stale as long as they've been. But I tell you what, they better find somebody that can stop Sturtevant.
Sturtevant 9 points. Timberlake. 2 and a chance for more.
Boy, Timberlake with that little hesitation saw a seam and then went all the way to the hole. Just a little bit of a hesitation. Let that defense spread a little bit, and with his quickness, got all the way to the hole. Chance for a three-point play.
That is Isa Mohammed's second foul. Timberlake, ESPN, class of 2020, number 35. Boston. A high bounce and then a bad shot.
Yes, it was. Boston out of control that time. He taps himself in the chest and says, "It's my fault." You like to see a player understand that they made a mistake. You just don't want to see it again.
Mike Jones, 17th year head coach at Dematha. Joshua Wallace in the game for the Stags. And Dickinson finds an easier way to pick up a basket from the field.
Yeah, I've got to believe that Mike Jones said, "Dixon, get down under the basket. We'll find you." And that's the result.
Sturtevant. High bounce. Kogelnick the rebound.
It was online, just a little strong.
Shot no good by Moore. Quickly back up the floor. "15-footer by Williams. 4-point game. Final 15 seconds of period number 1.
Probably try to get a high screen.
Kogelnick at the buzzer. And it's now a 1-point game. Norcross leads by a single point at the end of 1 quarter. Getting ready for the second quarter to start. Let's take a look at the class of 2020. Infante Dante, a couple of MVP awards this weekend. Dickinson from Dematha, Timberlake from Dematha, Boston from Norcross.
And Dante's a really nice big player inside. He's got a really bright future. Nice class this year at this tournament.
Well, each team had a run. Norcross had an 8-0 spurt that put them up by 8, but the last 7 points of the first quarter scored by Dematha. And Kogelnick, who dropped down that three right at the end of the first quarter, inbounds the ball to start the second.
Norcross, as a rule, wants to run, but in this situation like they are this evening, I think they've got to pick and choose the times to do so. Now Dematha is beginning to get the legs. They are feeling it, getting into the groove of the basketball game.
First lead of the game for Dematha. Murphy, Harris, working the weave, Boston, and Sturdivant. Shot blocked by Moore. Kogelnick goes the distance.
Norcross early on had done a good job of limiting fast breaks, but now Dematha beginning to get that rhythm and get in the flow of the game and get those fast breaks going.
Shot not good by Sturdivant. On the rebound, missed by Harris. And Sturdivant went to the basket to put two up.
Yeah, clean up everything. Boy, Sturdivant is a nice-looking player. Will do whatever it takes for his ball club.
Stops the string for Dematha. Dematha scored 11 consecutive points. Kogelnick, his shot rebounded particularly well by Wallace.
Dematha applying some token pressure. Not a problem for Norcross.
1 point of the first quarter. Norcross led by 8. Now it's a 3-point Dematha advantage. .14.5-footer is good by Boston.
Yeah, we'd seen Boston out of control a couple of times. That time started to the hole and knocked that little jumper down.
1 point game. Back with more from West Banco Arena in a moment. For Norcross, Sturdivant with the 2 threes, 2 twos, and a 1.
The one thing that I would say about Sturdivant is control. He knows what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. You know, you haven't seen him take bad shots. His body's under control. He lets everything come to him rather than try to force something.
And the officials for this game, Todd Gallup, Don Cash, Jason Davis. Dematha with the ball and a 1-point lead. Sturdivant 11 points, matriculating to Southern Cal.
And Norcross staying in there man-to-man. Good defensive possession for Norcross.
Timberlake denied. Nifty move, didn't convert. Harris going to the basket and call for the foul.
Yep, a little out of control. You don't always have to get to the hole. Pull up and take that little 10-footer. You can drive yourself right into trouble, and that's what Harris did on that particular possession.
A 3 attempt for Young. Strong bounce. Sturdivant for Norcross. 13 points.
Talk about under control. He didn't try to force it all the way to the board. Took what the defense gave him and knocked it down.
Ball popped out of the hand of Timberlake. Well, 3 changes here for Dematha. Dickinson, Miller, and Moore in.
Mike Jones going and trying to get the players in right now that he thinks are going to play the best together. And he's been flip-flopping some guys around trying to find that right combination. Norcross bleeding the clock.
Down to 7 on the shot clock. Sturdivant, a big-time 3 attempt. and sits on the top of the backboard. Okay, Mr. Rebounder, go get it.
Will you? I'll jump up there and knock that one back.
About a 23-footer for Sturdivant. Mike Jones. There's one. There you go. Mike Jones, who played at Dematha, then Old Dominion in the early 90s, free agent.
Yeah,
free agent signed with the Pacers.
Played for the legend Morgan Wooten. Boy, I tell you what, there were some awfully good basketball players that came out of his tutelage.
Shot not good by Miller, but Moore cleaned it up.
Yeah, both Norcross players mistimed their jump. Moore came in and cleaned it up, as you said.
3:52 left in the second quarter. And Williams got it in over Dickinson. Well, great fake. There's the seam.
Just a little pump fake. Got all the way to the hole.
Traveling violation. 3:24 left in the second quarter.
A lot of the turnovers Norcross has had, they've been out of control. Some of them of the unforced variety. And when you're playing the number 3 ranked team in the country, you can ill afford those type of turnovers.
5 lead changes in the second quarter alone. Moore has 11 points.
There's certainly a lot of players that can do some damage for Dematha. It just depends on who has the hot hand and who's feeling it at the time.
Sturdivant got it back to Williams and a foul.
Sturdivant is such a good quarterback on the floor. Realized that he had a man breaking to the basket. Made a nice pass. Not going to get the opportunity at a three-point play, but can pick up 2 with 2 free throws going down.
Foul on Vance. Williams to shoot 2, 6'5" senior.
Norcross keeping the ball game exactly where it needs to be. Keep it close. What you want to try to do if you are is eliminate any of those runs that teams like Dematha can put together. You don't want to give up a 8-10 point run.
Moore's got 13 points.
Boy, and Justin Moore just willed his way to the basket, laid that in. That was strength.
Boston's long shot, a 3 for Brandon Boston.
Well, that was a tough shot. Boston had someone right in his face.
From the corner, the 3 by Vance.
Dematha with so many different guys that can hurt you in a lot of different ways.
7 different Dematha players have scored. Donovan Miller had it, gave it up. Boston's shot is short.
Yeah, quick shot by Boston.
Traveling call, basket doesn't count.
Yep, good call by the officials. In the NBA, that would have been a good play, but not here in high school basketball. I think Norcross is doing the right thing, milking some clock.
1:05 left in the quarter. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Williams' pass. Murphy trying to get his hands on it. He does. And a whistle with 54 seconds remaining. And blocking foul. 4-point advantage for Dematha.
What was it? A bailout call there for Norcross because they really didn't have anything going. Shot clock running down.
50 seconds in the quarter.
Not a real good shot taken by Boston from the corner, but he saw that it was going to be short, hustled in, followed it up, and got the rebound.
2 quick fouls against Moore. Ball triggered, play triggered by Sturdivant. 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. And Murphy lost it. 31-27, Dematha leads.
I think that's a situation where Sturdivant really needs to come out and say, give me the ball. Let me control things here. If you're open, I'll get it to you. If not, I can shoot it.
And the jumper by Moore.
That was big time. And he's been feeling it.
Got the wheeling feeling. 11 points for him in the second quarter alone. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. Martin, first year with Norcross, transferred from Wheeler.
Norcross doing the right thing, making sure they get the very last shot.
Sturdivant.
Yep.
Third 3 of the game.
Sturdivant comes off a screen. Dematha needed someone there to pick him up. Well, an entertaining first half.
33-30. Dematha leads Norcross. We're at halftime. Dematha leads by 3 at halftime. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first 16 minutes.
Well, Sturdivant has really been playing well. And whenever Norcross needed a big basket, he was there to hit it for them. 6 for 10 from the field here in the first half. But he's a calming influence for the ball club. And on the other hand, on the other side, Moore with 15 points. He's 7 for 10 from the field. So both of those guys have really showed up. Nobody else has been a big factor in the ball game thus far. I think Norcross is going to have somebody else step up for them to be able to maintain this ball game with them.
First half numbers for you, with Dematha shooting 50% from the field.
Yep. Rebounding, surprisingly, Norcross out rebounding by 2. I think that's huge. And then the second chance points.
We're closing in on the start of the third quarter. And we'll have it for you in just a moment. ESPN and Pikeweb Creative so proudly presenting the Cancer Research Classic. Roger Lenhart, our producer. Mike Kendlick is our director. We are Mike Parsons' band of men and women, proud to bring the action to you. Also our executive producer, Dan Lohman. And folks, let me tell you, if you've not seen Dan Lohman's documentary on Hot Rod Huntley, you've got to see it. It is one of the best pieces of sports journalism that's ever been created.
I concur. Really, really, really well done. Well, as we get ready to start this third quarter, Norcross within 3. They will get the ball to start here. I think, again, that they really need to try to control the tempo. When things break down, find Sturdivant and get out of the way and move around, because he'll find you if you're open and he'll take the shot if he needs to. Dematha needs, again, to try to get this tempo up so that they can try to get Norcross in a track meet and wear them down. Dematha starting back in their man-to-man here in the second half. Five on the shot clock. Have to get it up. Well, that's
Wide
not,
right.
and that's not the possession you want to start to have.
Boston tried to steal it away. Got our first foul of the second half, and it is against Brandon Boston. That's Boston's first.
Yep, hand in the cookie jar. Moore exerting himself back to the free throw line. Big first half for Moore.
This is only the second free throw taken by Dematha in the game, and the Stags are 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Moore going to Villanova. First point of the second half.
An aggressive team like Dematha, you know that they're not all on cue when they don't shoot any more free throws than that. Usually they're attacking the basket.
Seconds on the shot clock. Riverman misses the shot. Timberlake gets the rebound. Jameer Young.
Yep, Young ready to spot up. Had no trouble getting that shot off. Norcross, no communication. You got to fan out and find shooters.
Biggest lead of the game for Dematha. Martin misses. Out of bounds, and it's Dematha's ball.
I think right now Norcross is at a crossroads. They really, really need to settle down. There's been a couple of crazy shots they've taken on the offensive end. It's not going to help. This Dematha team can run out on you really quick if you're not careful.
Stolen. Boston going to go to the hoop with authority.
Boy, Boston is athletic. A little behind the back, and then the flush. Another careless turnover. Third minute ahead of the pack.
Well, pretty much what Norcross needed. It had
Exactly.
fallen behind by 7, now down by 3.
Dickinson gets that ball that low with his size. There's not a whole lot you can do. Now, he is a lefty. You really need to try to take the left side away from him. Make him go to his right. Prove that he can do his right, but certainly he's going to score.
Basket's good by Mohammed, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Yep. Starts to his right, but he knew all along, Dickinson, that he wanted to come back to his left. Well, if you can do it, I can do it right back to you. Good shot by Mohammed.
Two-point game. Just a few moments ago, Dematha led by 7. 3 minutes into the third quarter. Kogelnick with a 2.
Norcross that time really sagging inside on Dickinson. And if that happens, Dematha's going to get about any shot they want on the perimeter.
Foul.
There's another empty possession, another turnover.
Fouls on Murphy, his first, second team foul.
Well, they were trying to force that ball into Dickinson just now.
Boston got a hand on it.
Yep. You know, pass was telegraphed inside.
Turnover misses the 3 attempt. Gets the ball back. Oh, the bounce pass falls out of the hands of Muhammad. Oh, good play by Sturdivant coming back.
The guy is just a complete basketball player.
Ball to be inbounded by Wallace. Timberlake, Dickinson.
And again, if he gets it that low, you're almost better off fronting him and making them lob it over top because he's just too big and strong when he gets to that low block.
Nothing by Murphy. In and out, the shot by Young.
Boy, Young with a nice move, just didn't get it to finish.
And Boston is fouled. At the break coming with 3:45 remaining in the third quarter. Dematha by 6. For Dematha, Dickinson, a couple of shots in close.
Yeah, that was early in the first half. He shot some ill-advised shots in the first half outside. I think Mike Jones says, shoot all you want as long as you're in that green area. We want you down on that low block. Put all of them you want there. We don't want to see you out there on the unpainted wood shooting them up. And I think that, Norcross has got to figure out a way, first of all, to try to keep him from establishing that position down. What you try to do if you're a defensive person is beat him to the spot and make him go someplace else. But if he gets planted down inside, then you're really in trouble. And the other thing, I think you have to try to make him go right. Easier said than done.
Boston 4 of 4 from the line in this game. One more scores and is fouled.
Well, Justin Moore under control so much. Takes his time, absorbs the hit, puts it up. You like guys like that know that they're going to. Some people don't concentrate on the shot because they know they're going to get hit, and thus they don't make the shot. But Moore under control completely the whole time, absorbed the punishment, laid it in.
Muhammad misses the shot off the glass. And Moore's got 20 points in this game.
Yeah, somebody's got to get in front of Moore. He's doing whatever he wants to when he wants to.
Biggest lead of the game for Dematha. He's Muhammad. We got a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, Jesse McMillan calling a timeout. I think he wants to say, guys, settle down, don't get crazy because we've dropped behind by 8 points.
Jesse McMillan, 11th year head coach. He's been a part of 5 Georgia State championships, 3 as an assistant, 2 as a head coach, 2011, 2013. And Norcross, Georgia State runner-ups the last 2 seasons. Jesse and his wife Elizabeth, by the way, Elizabeth is in the PR department for a Fortune 400 company, Fiserv. And Elizabeth and Jesse have 2 children, Elise and Mason. Jesse McMillan he was out of Chapman High School in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and then played at Mercer University in Macon.
Guys, we're still in this thing. I can hear him in that huddle now. Break down, get some stops here, take care of the basketball at the other end.
Dickinson away from the basket.
Yeah, he hasn't even looked at the basket when he's been standing out there. Get down where you can really do some damage.
Moore's tray, no good. Ball swept out of bounds.
And Moore with a rare miss. Okay, that's a stop for Norcross. See if they can convert it the other end.
Sturdivant relatively quiet from a scoring standpoint in this third quarter.
Well, I'm sure they talked about that at halftime. We can't allow him just to take over the ball game like he was doing. And as we say that, he gets all the way to the hole. Got a good pick, set out front, was able to get all the way to the rack.
20 points for Sturdivant, 4 in the third quarter. Two-minute warning. Left-hand Timberlake.
Good high-low action from Dickerson down low to Timberlake.
Harris.
Yeah, they're going to get Mohammed over to the back.
That's Mohammed's third. Fourth team foul against Norcross.
Dematha still not able to run away and hide. And there's Justin Moore, just has a nose for the basketball. There were 3 Norcross players standing around when that ball came off the rim. He snuck in between them all and got it in.
Underhand put in by Boston.
Boston has picked his game up since they kind of put the clamps on Sturdivant.
Steal by Harris.
Good recognition by Harris. Really didn't have the numbers. Brought it back out.
Mohammed puts it in.
Back to a 4-point ball game.
39 seconds remaining in the quarter. Period number 3.
Number 3 in the country with its hands full. Boy, more like an eel just slithering through the hole there.
Moore with 24 points.
Sturdivant with the ball under 10 seconds.
And the foul stops the clock with 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Fouls on Wallace, his first third against Dematha. Lobbed in. Oh, Mohammed couldn't put it down. And Dematha led by 3 at halftime. Dematha's lead is 6 at the end of 3.
Moore has been just sensational. 11 for 15 in the ball game. You've seen him do it inside, outside, and has such great body control to get to the basket. Sturdivant was the story early on in the ball game with the way he was keeping Norcross in there, but Moore has really stepped his game up.
Here we go, the fourth quarter. High school basketball from Wheeling, West Virginia, on the banks of the Ohio River.
Norcross trying to stop that penetration. They've gone to a 1-2-2 zone to try to stop the penetration down the middle.
3 attempt by Young, not good.
Good defensive set that time for Norcross. Sturdivant, you want to talk about body control. That's exactly what you saw on that drive. And again, back in that 1-2-2, try to close off those seams to drive to the basket.
The basket didn't go. The ball didn't drop through the hoop. And here's Sturdivant.
Yeah, you want to talk about body control. Just, you know, knows exactly what he wants to do. Knew he couldn't get all the way to the rack, so he just kind of slowed down and put up that teardrop that went down.
Moore misses the free throw. It is now 1 of 4 at the free throw line. Dematha 1 of 5 at the line in the game. Moore has 25 points.
Four-point difference. Again, Norcross right in the ball game against number 3 in the country.
And we've mentioned a few times that Norcross battling the flu bug. Some of the players bothered by the illness this weekend. A couple of starters unable to perform because of the illness. All good pass.
Boston really under control that time. Now Norcross in a 1-3-1. Anything to try to cut those driving lanes down.
Timberlake battling opposite number 0, Mohammed. Sturdivant.
You see Sturdivant put the brakes on. So under control.
$14-footer doesn't go.
Couple good looks for Norcross. Couldn't get either to go down. Dematha trying to dissect this zone.
And Wallace, a 3.
That whole shot made possible by the penetration and then the kick out to Wallace.
6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Dematha leads 57-51.
Yeah, Brandon Boston, I think he's really done a nice job here in the second half. Sturdivant has been quiet mainly because Dematha has been focusing on him. We saw Boston out of control quite a bit in the first half, but he settled down. He had a thunderous dunk, and then he's hit some big baskets here. He now has 13 points. Big possession for Norcross here.
Yes.
Boston gets the friendly roll and another drive. That's what he's been able to do to pick up the slack with Sturdivant really being kind of nailed down here in the second half. Doing a nice job of fronting Dickerson inside now to try to keep him at bay.
9 seconds on the shot clock. Couple missed opportunities for Dematha. And a foul. This will be the 4th team foul against Dematha in the second half.
Touched every bit of orange on the rim. Yes, Boston, he would tell you that's nothing but a soft touch. That's what it is, velvet touch. That way. 5 and change, 4-point ball game, and boy, those are the kind of turnovers that will just absolutely destroy you in a close game, playing against a team that really has more manpower than you do at this particular point in time.
Underneath, Harris with 2 more.
For Harris, everybody was high that time, up above the free throw line. Harris able to get that baseline and score it.
Dickinson from 15 feet.
Nope, not where he needs to be.
Sturdivant makes it a 2-point game.
Boy, the help defense that time for Dematha really poor. Nobody there to step in front of Sturdivant all the way to the hoop and the score. 2-point ball game.
midway point of the fourth quarter. Young.
A lot of folks didn't see this coming. Man, Justin Moore.
He's got 27 points.
It's amazing how your team knows when it needs to be with the go-to guy.
Muhammad.
Dickinson would have a hard time guarding Muhammad. That time at the free throw line, little fake into the hole by Muhammad.
And Young going to the basket, draws a foul. 3:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. Dematha 61 and Norcross 59. Mike Jones, 17th year, leading the Dematha basketball program. Mike, father of one. He has a 15-year-old daughter, Maya, who's a high school sophomore. One more game in the 2019 Cancer Research Classic basketball tournament. It'll be Imhotep against McEachern, and Paul Alexander and Warren Baker will have the action for you, have the call for you, along with our Pikewood crew here on ESPN. We've got a 2-point game with 3:05 remaining in the fourth quarter.
You know, and Norcross, exactly where they would want to be. Obviously, they'd like to be leading, but, you know, with the flu bug going through the ball club, down some men that weren't able to get in the game and play today, you're right there. You've got a shot.
That last foul was against Isa Muhammad. Muhammad's fourth. Team foul number 6 against Norcross. Young, 6 points in the game.
Miss on the second. We got a 3-point ball game with 3 minutes left. Big possession for Norcross. Big defensive possession for Dematha.
Eight seconds on the shot clock. Sturman trying to tie the game.
Had a pretty good look at the three, just couldn't get it to drop.
2.5 minutes.
What good help defense by Boston. And tell you what, Dickinson with a nice pass. A big fella like that can pass the ball. Boy, that makes it really, really tough on the defense.
3 by Martin.
Brings him back to within 2.
Just under 2 minutes.
Norcross is back in there man-to-man. See if they try to find more.
10 seconds on the shot clock. 5. Timberlake misses it. Minute and a half remaining. Norcross has not led since near the end of the first quarter. Boston.
And he nails a big 3. Norcross up by 1 with 1:15 left.
Shot not good by Young. Dickinson gets it back for Dematha. Just under a minute.
Boy, Moore willing his way to the basket. Great players make great plays.
.40 seconds.
The referee blew the whistle thinking that Mike Jones had called timeout. The problem is Mike Jones' team didn't have the basketball. the official immediately pointed toward the Dematha bench as if they had called a timeout.
.9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Officials got a grin on their face. Yeah. You know, if you hear timeout, you're kind of assuming that the team with the ball is the one calling the timeout. The official blew the whistle, but he pointed toward the Dematha bench.
Timeout is on Norcross. Sturdivant, 24 points in the game for Norcross. Brandon Boston, 18, including a big three just a moment ago. Here's the inbound pass from Boston. We got a good one indeed. And Sturdivant from 15 feet wouldn't go for him, and a foul.
And that's going to do it for Muhammad. Over the back. That's his fifth. Trying to get to the board. Yep. Dickinson with that big body had pretty good position inside.
I have it as the 7th team foul. And the 1-and-1 for Hunter Dickinson.
Jesse McMillan's going to take his time here putting a player in somewhat to ice the free throw shooter. You have that minute to put a player in.
Lewis Williams replaces Muhammad. Gets a bonus shot.
I think timeout now by Dematha. Now, if you're Norcross, there's no need. You don't have to come down and hoist up a three right away. 36 seconds, plenty of time. Run your offense, get the best. If it happens to be a three, take it. But otherwise, run your offense, take a two. You still have plenty of time to try to get a steal or foul and put them back on the line. But you don't need to come down, panic, and throw up a three from the corner or someplace. Certainly you will take it if it's available, but you don't force it.
For Dematha, Justin Moore, 29 points. Hunter Dickinson has 10 for Norcross. Kyle Sturdivant, 24. Brandon Boston, 18.
I think you put the ball in Sturdivant's hands and let him make a decision. If he drives and can get all the way to the cup, I think he'll take it. If not, I think he'll make a good decision as to who he needs to drop it off.
Final half minute of the fourth quarter.
Dematha is aware that they're out there. They're not going to let him have just a three out front.
13 seconds on the shot clock. Ball bounces away and into the hands of Dematha's Wallace. And a foul with just under 13 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Boston's third.
In a situation like that, when Sturdivant gets the ball, gives the ball up, he's got to try to figure out how to get it back again. Now, obviously, Dematha is going to deny that, but the wrong person handling the ball at the wrong time.
1-and-1, not good. 3-point game, 10 seconds. Sturdivant! And a whistle, evidently, just before the shot.
I don't know if it was a timeout. Yes, it was a timeout. I was wondering if Dematha was going to foul and give up the two free throws with that 3-point lead.
8.6 seconds remaining. One of the best games of the tournament, this one here between Norcross, Georgia, from just outside Atlanta, against Dematha from Hyattsville, Maryland.
You know, you can set up a screen right now for Sturdivant and see if you can't free him for one, or throw the ball if you can throw it low immediately and get a two. You would take that. It's still 8.6 seconds. You can't waste a lot of time, but if you get it in low immediately and get it on the board, that would be fine. I don't think Dematha will foul. A lot of coaches, you know, it depends on what coach you talk about. to see whether or not they would foul and potentially make the other team shoot 2 free throws, knowing that they might have to miss one.
Sturdivant to inbound the play.
He needs to get it back.
And Boston apparently was fouled.
Yes, in the act of shooting, so he will shoot 3.
That is number 3 on Timberlake.
Not a good play by Timberlake at all. You certainly don't want to foul someone shooting a 3.
Boston 18 points in the game. Now 5 of 5 from the free throw line with 19 points. 7.4 seconds remaining.
Make or miss. Now, Norcross has to get in on the free throw line.
Big guy Dickinson in there close.
Boston will try to miss this. Oh, made it. Still 7 seconds. Yes, they do have time.
Thirty-second timeout taken by Dematha. Coming before that inbound play with 6.9 seconds remaining, and Dematha leads by 1. Dematha, during this second half, at one point during the third quarter, led by 8. And at one point during this fourth quarter, Norcross led 65-64.
Well, it'll be interesting now to see how they can do this. Dematha has to remember they can run the baseline. It's not a spot pass in. Norcross tries to get a steal immediately, and if you don't get the steal immediately, you have to foul.
Now, Dematha, during its warm-up, had shirts on. The players wearing shirts that said, "Who's next?" Short term, Norcross. Moore putting it in play, and the foul on Boston. Young's going to go to the line. It's Boston's 4th.
Well, even if both free throws are hit here, it's still a 1-possession game. 6 seconds, way more time than Sturdivant would need to get the ball up the court and get a shot off.
And Jameer Young, who's going to be playing basketball in college in Charlotte, shooting 1 and 1.
First things first for Norcross, they need to box out.
(69-67).
Let's see whether or not, if this shot goes down, Dematha elects to foul. Boy, big shot. Sturdivant has it.
Fires and misses everything. It stops the clock with 1.2 seconds remaining.
And that will be enough to do it, I think, unless there happens to be an offensive foul right now and a change of possession by Dematha. Going to let the big fella take it out.
And Dematha wins it. Final score 70-67.
More game effort by nicked up Norcross Ball Club.
Thanks for joining us. And one more game forthcoming at the Cancer Research Classic. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as the other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.